Welcome, everyone. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Brand Rising, good morning. Good morning. We are going to get started in just a second. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for jumping in. Welcome back to the Power Hour. We are just resuming after coming off a very busy and, if I may, worthwhile, successful Go Global conference. Thank you for those who attended. Today, we're going to be just recapping and resharing some of the experiences that we have, and we have a special guest in our midst that we'll be talking to. We'll do some housekeeping before we get into it. This is the Power Hour. We do this every Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The Power Hour only lasts for an hour. As we normally say, the hour shall pass and the power continues. We want to remind you to keep your microphones on mute as we have our conversation. And this is actually a recorded session, so it will be available on YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube at the Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chambers, and also follow the Atlanta Black Chambers. I know the Atlanta Black Chambers were working on getting our subscription up to about 1,000 or so before the year ends. Please help us to achieve that goal, and you can follow us on social media everywhere. Also, just want to remind you that somewhere midway, we're going to be doing a poll just to check in and get your feedback and your opinion. Those do matter to us a lot. We're going to be also spotlighting one of our members for this week of a Backboard Capital, Jason Kyles, who is currently our membership lead for the Global Opportunities Committee. If you have questions, if you have interest in connecting, please feel free to share that information in the chat as we jump into our conversation. So we're going to be using the next this and the next Power Hour to talk a little bit about just how folks felt about the conference. If you missed the conference, you did miss a great deal. And so if you did attend, you know about the experiences that we've all had. And so today I have Ambassador Isaiya Kabira, who has been gracious and is in Nairobi, and he has agreed to come on and talk to us about his experience. It's the first time he has attended our conference, like many of you, and we wanted to relive the moment a little bit and talk a little bit more about some of the takeaways from the event, but most importantly, what do we do with that going forward and going into a new season as we approach the end of a great 2025. Ambassador, welcome to the Power Hour. Thank you for joining. I was talking to you backstage and realized that the nation of Kenya lost a great asset to its people, a former prime minister that passed away. I believe it was today or yesterday. But welcome to the Power Hour. Our condolences goes out to you and the nation. But please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us a little bit about your role, and we'll jump right into the conversation.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Good morning to all members. Great to be with you here today. Thank you so much for your condolences. Yes, it's true. We lost a great son of Kenya and a great son of Africa. He's called Honorable Raila Odinga, who was Prime Minister of this country for many years. his father was one of the founding fathers of our nation. So yes, thank you very much for your kind condolences. So Ricardo, it's nice to be with you at this hour. First, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations for hosting such a successful conference. We had a big team from Kenya, and we are happy, especially about the number of connections that we were able to make. The organization of the conference was fantastic. We want to commend all the people who took time to share their thoughts, aspirations, and just to share the opportunities that there are between Africa and Atlanta and within Atlanta. And I love the way we spend more time just creating networks. A lot of these conferences you go and it's people talking down to you, and you wonder, why did I have to come for this conference? And the networking sessions are reduced into during tea time and during lunchtime. But we had great opportunity to have B2Bs, G2Bs, to try and see how can we unlock the potential, because from where I sit, I am the Secretary for Diaspora Investments, Skills and Entrepreneurship. So my responsibility is to try and connect the Kenyan diaspora, wherever they are around the world, to opportunities back home. Because we realize that a lot of our people spend time out there and they lose their track of what is happening back home. And when they come back home after many years, they realize the country has moved on, they have no place to be, and we want them back here. So my responsibility is to walk them through. I run an agency called Diaspora Invest Support Office, where we hold our diaspora to try and connect them to investment opportunities. And for us, the diaspora is not just the Kenyans out there. We see you as a very strong diaspora. We see you, and we would like to work with you to see what are the connections that you can make in Africa. We know that some of you have a lot of sentimental value. I know America is your home. It's the place you love most. It's the place you were born and you grew up. But we also know that you have some sentimental attraction and to Africa. So for me, the forum acted as an opportunity to try and see what is your thinking. What's the thinking of the business community in Atlanta? And I was happy to meet a number of people who have made investments in my country, Kenya. And I was able to talk to them. Some of them have challenges in terms of regulatory issues. Some of them had challenges about taxation. Some had issues about land acquisition, because land acquisition in this part of the world is quite a big challenge. So I was very happy to walk them through. But as I said during my remarks, really, Africa is the continent of the future. He who is not thinking about Africa is not thinking about the future. By 2050, Africa will have a population of 2.5 billion people. 1 in every 4 persons living on this earth is going to be living here in Africa. This is where the opportunities are going to be. Africa is home to 30% of the world's natural resources. This is the place where you should be trying to make connections, because this is the future market. This is where the buying power is going to come from. This is the place where the buying power, yes, as I said, is going to come from. So those connections are very important. I know we have our challenges. I do not want to underestimate that. We have our own challenges, but we are dealing with them. But I keep saying every challenge we have is an opportunity. Where there's no water supply is an opportunity. Where there is no power connection is an opportunity. Where there's no value addition is an opportunity. We grow a lot of coffee, we grow a lot of tea, we do not add value to it. And we sell a lot of our stuff through Europe to go to America. We sell our coffee to Europe, they add value, and they bring it over to the US. Why can't we have a direct connection with business persons like you who are in Atlanta to try and see how can we take big advantage of the opportunities that there are in Atlanta? In my conversations with Ricardo, it was beautiful to see that Atlanta's mainstay is medium scale companies. It's the same for us here. Family-owned businesses, that's what drives the economy in very many parts of the world, despite having big companies operating in Atlanta. So it was a very heartwarming experience. And of course, from here, where we go? To go to a conference and to chat with people and make the partnerships, we need to actualize that. We need to do follow-ups so that we definitely follow through on the many promises and the deals that we saw the opportunities while in Atlanta. Thank you, Ricardo.
No, thank you for sharing that, Ambassador. And I know that you mentioned earlier, so we can go back a little bit when we were in Nairobi earlier this year in August. We did get an opportunity to meet and talk a little bit about the conference, talk a little bit about what we're actually doing. I wanted to and you may have said it earlier, just to understand what was the thing that drove you while we were in Kenya. You've learned about the conference. Maybe it was the first time you were hearing about the conference in August. What was the thing that drove you, knowing that, I mean, August was not too far away from October? What was it that drove you, that drove some of the folks who you brought in along with Ambassador Betty? What was it that drove you to come to the conference? Was it the fact that it was in Atlanta? Was it the fact that it was part of the Atlanta Black Chamber? What was the driving force that got you up and say, you know what, we have to be here?
Well, you can never blame an African for wanting to travel to Atlanta. It's a beautiful place with great people. You can't blame me for that, wanting to come to Atlanta. But there's one example that you gave us when you were in Nairobi. There is this company that is producing a very unique drink that is gaining popularity among the youth. And you went to visit them and you gave them guidelines in terms of how they can set up base in Atlanta. For me, I was attracted about the practicality of the partnerships that, Ricardo, you create. Atlanta is a very big market where some of our products can be sold. And if we can do the production in Atlanta, we are very happy. We're also very happy to try and encourage you good people of Atlanta to come and invest back home here. There are opportunities, especially in the energy sector, in agri-tech, but more so in the area of IT, where we see great opportunities. Atlanta is definitely a big leader in the area of IT. I met a company when I was in Atlanta who were trying to establish a fintech here. As you know, money transfer has become a big business over here in Africa. For you in the US, you live by your credit and debit card. For us here in Africa, we live by money transfers. That's how we live on the telephone. So I found a company that wants to establish a base here. They want to use Kenya as a base to extend into Africa. And it's a fintech that is in the money transfer business. They want to take advantage of the remittances that are being sent over to Africa. And it's a great business model. It is working. So for me, Ricardo, why I came to Atlanta? Yes, I love Atlanta, but definitely the opportunities are abound and we need to capture them.
And it wasn't your first time. You've been to Atlanta before. I mean, you've traveled to the US several times, correct?
Yes, definitely. I mean, this was maybe my 7th time in Atlanta.
Yeah. And so and I appreciate you sharing that, because I think outside of the beauty that Atlanta is, I mean, Atlanta is nothing without its people, I would argue. And so I think when you talk about the beauty of Atlanta, you're talking about the beautiful people that are on the call that are from Atlanta. And as we say, you know, in the ATL, the Mecca for Black excellence. Now, as you came into Atlanta, coming in for this occasion, for the conference, what were some of the things that you were hoping to accomplish as you came? You talk about the fintech, which I think is wonderful, that we have a fintech company here in Atlanta that's part of our community. that want to expand themselves into Kenya. Was that something you were expecting? What were some of the expectations you had as you set sail into Atlanta, into the event? Who were some of the people you wanted to meet, and did you actually get a chance to meet them?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ricardo. And as you remember, when you came to Nairobi, we had some very specific asks. One of them was in the fintech area. Two is also the area of agri-tech. Definitely, because I know Atlanta is not the biggest state when it comes to agriculture, but we greatly admire what you've done, especially in the forestry, in how you forested Atlanta. It's a beautiful place. One of the big challenges that we are facing here in Africa is deforestation, where we see that a lot of destruction of trees. What model is Atlanta using? So I was also very excited to meet people in the entertainment industry. People are trying to see how we can have a co-production between people in Atlanta and here in Africa, because again, as I said, this is a growing market. US, you've taken a lead in that, so I had an opportunity to meet people who are in that business to try and see how we can undertake some co-productions as we tell the African story, and as Atlanta also tells the story. And one big attraction about Atlanta is, as you said, Ricardo, it's the people sitting down with you, many of you, just to the kind of questions that you ask me about Africa. Of course, some of you are informed, some of you are not very well informed, because of course your view about Africa is through the lens of a media that has a love-hate relationship with Africa. So I found it very interesting. I met a big team from Haiti. As you know, Kenya has been trying to bring some stability in Haiti. And she was asking me, what are you people doing in Haiti? I mean, I thought you have enough problems on your side. But my answer was very simple. Wherever the African diaspora is what we have to deal with, because when an African is happy out there, then the African back home on the continent is happy. When we see instability, wherever people or descendants are, it's not good. So it's a kind of conversations, of course, they shared with us what they thought are some of the way forward. But yeah, just the mix of the people. I met people from all over the world who moved in Atlanta, and I was just interested in asking them, why did you move to Atlanta? Why have you moved from North Carolina? Why did you move to Washington? I got very good answers, and admire the fact that you are brave people who have seen Atlanta as the place to be.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And on that note, I was curious to what are some of the questions that people actually ask you that you thought was very interesting and perhaps funny as you met. I know you probably would have met quite a number of people, and we're going to talk about that B2B thing shortly. But you said something earlier about questions that folks ask you. Do you remember one question that you thought was funny that you maybe, as we say, cracked up and you kind of laugh and wondered, who is this person?
I think on average, I met very well informed people. I will not say that I got very ignorant. I think a lot of you are very well informed about Kenya, but I met one who asked me whether Mogadishu is the capital of Tanzania. So that was a bit, it was confusing the Mogadishu with Tanzania. That I found, but I understand the US is a huge country. You have many states, and I don't. But by and large, your team was fairly well informed.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, what's the capital? Because I don't know that the answer to that question. What's the capital of that space?
Mogadishu is the capital of Somalia, and the capital of Tanzania is Dar es Salaam. You want me to proceed with more capitals?
No, I got it. That's very interesting. But no, thanks for sharing that. Now, what I wanted to ask you, because one of the things that it was made known to us as we were planning this and putting this together, we have a lot of service-oriented businesses. And as you think about Kenya building relationship with the US and many other countries that you would have met, you would have met a lot of service providers. And we're going to take questions a little later, so just hold on to your questions, or you can put them in the chat, and we'll share them. But how do you how do you appreciate in terms of the services that a lot of businesses that you met perhaps from Atlanta looking to enter into the Kenya market? What do you actually say to them when you realize that the businesses that they're in are perhaps services, and unlike maybe some of the businesses that you guys are in on the continent, because we recognize that perhaps you have more products to export and to enter into the US market. But on this end, when you come into Atlanta, you recognize that folks may have more services to export into the Kenyan market. What do you say to those people?
No, thank you, Ricardo. And I'm happy that Mr. James Mureu, who is the head of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has joined us. James, can you hear us? James? I can see his hand is up actually, but I hope at some point he will.
Yeah,
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hope once I give my short answer, I would love you to also make an interjection on this about the opportunities, about some of the opportunities that we saw. One of the services that I met two people who are in the waste management business. They think that Africa is not taking advantage of commercializing or trying to make better use of waste. A lot of waste, we've seen in many parts of the world how waste is big business. And I found that interesting. I was able to connect them to some of our local governments that are having that big challenge. I also met people who are very keen on value addition because, as I said earlier, you people get very annoyed about why are we buying coffee from Europe or tea from Europe that is produced in Africa, but it looks like it's been sold from England. So a lot of people are very keen to invest in the value addition chain. I also met a couple who are in the business of trying to check the health of our soil. In Africa, we say that you are as wealthy as the quality of your soil. Unfortunately, over the years, we have really degraded our soils. And somebody has come up with a technology actually in Atlanta who says that they have a way of us determining what crops should be in what kind of soils. And of course, the service industry, I did mention the area of fintech. Kenya is a leader when it comes to mobile money transfer services. We've seen a lot of fintechs coming. So definitely this is an area. And of course, the area of BPOs, the business process outsourcing, despite our time differential, there are definite opportunities in that area. Ricardo, with the information, I'll let James just talk about his experience and what kind of connections he was able to make during the conference.
Yeah, and if we can get James, and it's good to see you. If we can get you on camera, that would be great, so that we can connect. We can connect with you there. I see you're enjoying your beautiful city there. But would you mind?
I'm actually at home.
You are at home.
I took a few days after coming back from the US, so I'm at home.
Yes. Did you have any reaction to the ambassador's remarks?
Yes, indeed. The ambassador has pinpointed a number of interesting areas. Personally, I think this was a great melting point of very good ideas. We picked up quite a number of good ideas. Of great importance, Ricardo, you've asked about the service industry, and really I met some people who are doing a lot of business, online business, from on Amazon and eBay and all these platforms. And I see a great opportunity there because what bedevils us is we are stuck up with products that we want to get to the market. They are ready. How do we get them to the market? And the logistics are a nightmare. So I see an opportunity where we can take advantage of the existing models where eBay and Amazon and all these other trading platforms can be of great use to us. The other area that I saw of interest and where we can also collaborate is in the knowledge exchange, because there are things that you know, there are things that we don't know. And in that space there, we can actually have a knowledge transfer, exchange of knowledge, where you can come and learn something from us, we come and learn something from you, and proceed. The waste processing was actually that same person that I met. I think I met the same person on waste processing. We have a lot of waste here that we look at as that as a nuisance, and apparently from your end, that is money that is sitting there. So that's an area we want to follow. There's one lady I met called Kelly, who is supporting the small enterprises in terms of positioning them in terms of tax preparedness, basic accounting, and I think that is an area again. I think we can borrow a lot from where you have simple programs that can be taught online to the SMEs, and they are able then to re-engineer their businesses, because a lot of businesses, the SMEs have the skill, the knowledge to make products. They lack the skill to manage their businesses. So if they can be taught how to separate capital and working capital and profit and how to manage themselves, I think that's a great idea. And then of course, they become responsible citizens by paying taxes. And that's the area that we were looking at, where we can influence the SMEs. There are many, there's about 16 million of them. If they all responded to tax payment, obviously even the government will feel their presence and they become responsible citizens. Ricardo, I also want to say we are mourning the demise of a great leader who passed on today. So the governor had sent his apologies because I think they were called to an emergency meeting. And so he would have loved to be on this program, but unfortunately he won't.
Yeah, no, thank you, James. I appreciate it. You said some interesting things, and you talk a little bit about e-commerce and around the services that are being offered by some of our members here. I wanted to get back to you, Ambassador Kabira. Before I do that, I did want to welcome Jason Kyles to the stage, because Jason Kyles has been featured this week as one of our members of the chamber. The Atlanta Black Chambers you don't need to be in Atlanta to be a part of the chamber, you see, and so a big one of the things that we encourage people to do is to be a part of the community, because it's only in doing so you get that level of association and that level of affinity that can help to drive your needle forward. And we are focused on building profitable, competitive businesses, not just in Atlanta, but all over the world, which is why the Global Opportunities was actually created. And so welcome, Jason. Congrats on being featured this week as a member of the chamber. You recently become a member this year, and you quickly, I would say, went up the ranks, and you are now the membership lead for the Global Opportunities Committee. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us a little bit about the business that you operate. I want people to understand that those people who you see serving within the Global Opportunities Committee and within the chamber, a lot of this is a volunteer. There's volunteer services, and they've given time and effort to ensuring that we do the work that we are set out to do. So it's a lot of commitment on our end. So we really want to highlight those people who are doing amazing things, but the business that they're in is essential, that we know how do they generate an income? How do they make a living? And Jason, if you may, please, sir, share a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is that you actually do.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ricardo. I am the CEO and founder of Backboard Equity Partners. Ricardo always says capital. That is a component of our business. And in many facets, we definitely align with capital. But we are business partners in deal transactions, investments, and business acquisitions. We are essentially entrepreneurial investors or business investors. And in that capital piece, there is also relational capital. A lot of times we think we just need the actual finance, but oftentimes we'll find what we need in just having relationships, which is the core and the essence of GOC and all that we do here and making these connections. And at heart, I am a connector. I have had the pleasure of serving as a membership lead, which has in itself been a great pleasure. Just getting to know our members. There are so many opportunities within our membership. As Ricardo said, there are members that we have regionally. So I had the pleasure of also attending the Go Global conference where I've met everyone here on the call, including Ambassador Betty, and learning a lot about Kenya and just Africa and the region. And again, detailed opportunities. It's been a pleasure to work in this space. I've made many connections. Thank you, Ricardo, and your team for going to East Africa and making these connections on the ground. Thank you to all of our regional leads who themselves have businesses. I've got about 4 in the pipeline at least, and several other conversations to go. But learning about the opportunities that we can then translate here in the US, not just Atlanta, because I've also talking to the regional leads who have come to Atlanta. They were traveling around to other states. So there have been other opportunities domestically that we've been able to take advantage of, and as well as having my own networks in other states that we can have this bilateral trade opportunities and completing these transactions. So now I definitely feel obligated to go to Kenya and return to visit and take with me opportunities that are here or matches that are available back to Kenya. Again, it has been a pleasure. That is what we do, essentially connecting businesses with other businesses, resources, and capital to be successful.
Thank you, Jason. And I have a 1 or 2 follow question as we conclude our spotlight here. So who is, if you may, who is the ideal customer or client for Backboard Equity Partners?
Sure. We're actually industry agnostic. So we have a network of investors. Our particular business, our background is in technology operations. So we're very keen on businesses that, as Mr. Moreau mentioned, there's some knowledge that is needed in operating the businesses. So we've been working with technology platforms and helping businesses get established with technology to streamline their operations on the back end and attach to all those pieces that make it operate at a high efficient level. And that is some of the things that we do. There's pre-acquisition, post-acquisition of the business, and taking as a partner. You know, we come in, it's expensive to hire a team. So we look at opportunities where we can help advise and even implement technology operations, take advantage of our other clients and bring them to the table, because businesses also need clients. So we're able to not only implement the technology, but tap into other client networks that reduces the cost of acquisition, increases the return on investment for business, and just become a partner in the deal. And eventually we'd like to become a partner, take equity in the business where we can grow together. So those businesses that we'd say are technologically challenged, because we want to work with them to stay in their lane, to do what you do, make your product, develop your service, and we'll add the technology piece where we both can grow together and connect globally, where markets are certainly open as we're learning. And we thank you for this platform. I love GOC Power Hour. I did a lot of due diligence before coming on, to be able to hear directly from businesses and business leaders in other countries about what is available to help our business grow.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Jason. And I think one of my last question to you, as we look ahead, as you look ahead in your business, what excites you? What is it that you're excited about going into the closure of 2025, but also into the new season of 2026 as a business owner?
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm excited at the vast opportunities that are available globally, because here domestically we are kind of crowded and saturated markets. I'm excited to meet and learn about different cultures. There were some people that I've met, as you said before, global relationships are surgical. And there were some people that have some go-ready opportunities just to lock in on, where I can bring in other businesses that I know that didn't even know these opportunities existed. So that great exchange, just learning about different people cultures, business cultures, the exchange rates are wonderful in many of these companies. So our opportunity to generate substantial revenue is great. But definitely, there are some businesses where the culture is, we really need to get to know you and vet you. And I'm definitely open to that as well. Let's understand one another so that we can open the doors on both sides. So just to be in a global space where opportunities are they're so broad in many different spaces, and they're connected to other spaces, because each individual is not just a business. As we have the business leaders here, as particularly Mr. Moreau, I spoke with him, he represents over 12 million businesses. So that alone is just a whole opportunity to connect with and see what is available in that space where we can have a bilateral and mutual business interest exchange.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jason, and congrats again on being featured, and thank you for serving. Thank you for being a part of the chamber. If any of you are interested in doing business with Jason and Backboard Equity Partners, please feel free to reach out to him, reach out to us. Again, this is one of the benefits of being a member of the Atlanta Black Chamber. This is one of the benefits of being in the community, as we work to support each other. And Ambassador, I'm coming to you, and I want to launch a poll for folks, or poll questions are out. If you would take a moment to just complete that for us, we would be grateful. We're asking you about the conference. We're asking you your thoughts around it. And if I may add, on the 28th, which is in about 13 or so days from now, we will be doing the virtual conference. Many of you that we've spoken to was not able to attend the Go Global conference this year. You missed out on quite a bit. But we did want to ensure that you got an opportunity to be a part of the virtual event. And so the virtual conference is coming up on the 28th of October, right after our famous Tuesday talk at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You have the opportunity to experience some of the things that we experience in the in-person conference. We will be doing B2B all day on the 28th, right here online, where you will be able to get access to folks who are interested in meeting you. And we'll also be hearing from a few leaders. Just a couple of tips. We're not going to be doing too much of the conversation piece, but we'll certainly give you an opportunity to meet some other folks that you may not have met on one hand, but also folks who weren't able to come that you probably would have loved to meet. So feel free to register and be a part of that. You're certainly welcome. You're certainly welcome to do so. James, I'm going to take you because I want to get to Ambassador Kabira, but you did want to respond to Jason or something that he shared?
Yes, Ricardo. Thank you for having me again. I just remembered something. We talked extensively about tea and coffee, and I just wanted to let you know I have one or two American companies that are actually processing and packaging tea from Kenya for the rest of the world. It's a big opportunity. And I think just thinking about these two products, I mean, America loves to consume the best. We have the best tea, we have the best coffee, and we have the best packaging opportunity here. This American company is packaging for the Middle East from here. So I see a great opportunity, and I thought it's important to share that. And yes, we do have the numbers that Jason has referred to. There's a big opportunity to support the micro and small enterprise space. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, James. So I'm really, you know, as an entrepreneur myself, I really want to get to the heart of this question, Ambassador Kabira. How do we actually get the business done? Because we talk a lot about sort of the different opportunities, you know, after a conference like the Go Global conference last week. How do we move the needle forward? We've had the meetings. We've made soft commitment. We've talked about our intentions, but what is it that we need to do next to get the actual business done? How do we move stuff forward? Because I don't know that we want to enter into the next season the same way we close this season, right? We have so many opportunities, and we're talking about opportunities all the way up to our neck. But what is the thing in your experience, in your mind, that is preventing us from actually converting those into real business? There are businesses who are struggling. There are businesses who came out to find a good opportunity that they can work on to create some success for themselves, their community, and their families, their employees. But for some reason, it doesn't convert into actual dollars and cents. What is the thing in your mind? And I want Jason and also to feel free to chip in, because you're business people. You know how to make money. And I would imagine that you have some clue, some sense as to how to actually convert these newfound relationships, if you may, into actual dollars. Ambassador?
No, thank you very much, Ricardo. And I think that's the heart of all these conversations we are having. How do we actualize conversations? How do we actualize ideas? How do we actualize opportunities that we see? One of my biggest observations that I have seen is that people give up very easily. We sit down, we agree, we make a visit, you meet one hurdle, and immediately you give up. I always encourage people, it's chamber to chamber. The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry knows they're streetwise, let me say. They're just like you, Atlanta, Black Chambers. You're also streetwise when it comes to matters Atlanta. Look for partners who are within the chambers. Because one thing that you need in business is traceability. Because traceability is what is going to enforce the trust, because you cannot do business without trust. Trust is at the heart of business. And once, for example, like you signed the MOU with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we must breathe life into that. That MOU has some parameters of what we should do. But again, what's a chamber to chamber? Those are just two organizations. It's about people to people. And that's why I think the conference, for example, offered people the opportunity for people to sit down, not just meet virtually, to know that this is, I'm dealing with Ricardo. I know he's 5 feet 2 inches tall, so I know exactly how to deal with him. I know his friends because I mean, sometimes doing business in Africa is not a walk in the park. I know it's not that easy, but the opportunities abound. And as I said earlier, Africa is really the future. We need you guys thinking about Africa and seeing how best do we capitalize on the opportunities that we have. And earlier on, I did speak about the Diaspora Investment Support Office that we are running here in our country. And as I said, diaspora is not, for us, not just Kenyans who are abroad. Even people like you, we treat you as the wider African diaspora. So we are happy to walk the journey with you. we're happy to open doors for you. We're happy to cut the red tape for you so that you don't have to go through all these many hurdles. But again, James, could you speak more to what the chamber can do, and how can you breathe life into the MOU that you signed?
Yes, thank you, Ambassador. And indeed, you're right. You're spot on that business can only thrive when you have established a close relationship. I know Ricardo, I can deal with him. I met Sheldon in Nairobi. I met him in Atlanta. We have already signed an MOU. We have already breathed life to our conversation. And that is why people-to-people engagement is very important. I did raise an important issue regarding the ability for people to move freely, businessmen who are bona fide to be able to travel to the US and from the US to Kenya and be able to establish that confidence, that relationship. And so for me, we have a bit of work to do from the American side where visas are a bit of a challenge, a non-physical challenge. But I think it's something that I raised with the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs in terms of making it easy. Once we have cleared the businessmen who are really interested in coming to do business, I think the US Embassy should be able to facilitate visas so that they come and meet Ricardo, they come and meet Jason and anybody else, Sheldon, in face-to-face, see that they are real, and then business. But I do see a big opportunity, and like you have rightly put it, Balozi, Africa is the only remaining frontier. And I want to encourage our brothers in Atlanta to be in this space and elbow out the Chinese, because they come with all manner of products that we don't trust. And I'm saying this because I've lived in that space. Thank you.
Thank you. Jason, did you want to say something? We're going to take some questions from you, the audience. So please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll try to make them as brief as possible as we're coming up on the hour. Jason?
Yeah, just really quick, I wanted to add to that, as James mentioned, it's about the follow-up too, on the business side. We have the MOUs, we have things, we have the open door to channels set in place. From the GOC perspective, I think we reach out to our regional leads and whatever direct connections that we have to the ambassador, to James and Ambassador Betty, the other leaders. So that we're also vetted as businesses on this side, even within the organization. But we follow up and we make a clear agreement of what it is that we're offering. I know with myself, because it's a little broad, I listen to the opportunities and I automatically look at my network, who can I connect with? But as for, it would be more of a business development piece where, okay, this is what I can offer. This is an agreement that I will bring these opportunities to you. And this is how my role and responsibilities in that opportunity would work. And then I'll continue to make those connections with the businesses that can provide the services that are needed. So I think the emphasis is really on the follow-up. I do see some questions in the chat on how to connect. So that is something that we streamline, but we want to be clear on who we're making introductions for. Of course, membership is our priority. So we know you as a member, we're able to make these connections and start to build and facilitate that trust and clarity in the scope of opportunities to make it a viable transaction.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, Jason. And I want to be very blunt with you as an audience and as a people, as a family. We got to cut the red tape, we got to cut the crap, and we got to get into the business. We have too much follow-ups, we have too many layers to get to the decisions, and this is killing the businesses. So if you're going to help. If you're not going to help, step out of the way so that these people can get a yes or a no from you, because being on the fence is hurting the community. Being on the fence is hurting our business. People want to do business internationally and they can't get along. They can't get their way. They're trying to call, they're trying to write, no response. And so get out the way and let them be successful. If you are unable to help them, say that. Don't string people along because this is the thing that hurts our own community. A lot of us are in professional services, and this is a pain point because we have to diagnose, we have to collect information to understand the challenges before we present solutions. And sometimes that alone is long enough. It could take months. And we don't have enough capital to last us for 6 months before we get a check. So if you are in the business, if you are impeding the progress, and I could say it in front of your face in person because I'm not afraid. If you are a progress impeder, you've got to step out of the way, because we're going to put you on blast and say that you are impeding the progress of the people who can make a difference. And I want to bring Melvin Coleman on. I think he's a lot more brave than I am. I know he probably have a few words or so that he might want to say, but I hope that rings, folks, because it is time for us to move out the way and let the people who can be successful be successful. We spend too much time in the bureaucracy space, in the red tape space, and it becomes very political. And if you can't tell, or businesses are not doing well, they are dying. Some of them wear a face mask just to keep a level high. But in the background, we're not doing very well, and we need you to move out the way if you're impeding the progress. Mr. Coleman, thank you for jumping in. I know you have a thing or two you wanted to share.
Well, good morning, and let me say, I am not bringing the heat that my brother Ricardo is bringing, but kudos to him. You can tell he's very serious about that. I wanted just a couple of minutes to, first of all, say thank you to all the brothers and sisters that came from other parts of the world. Definitely, the continent. Your leadership and your commitment, your example is one that is inspiring to everyone. Definitely me personally. And I just want you to know it means a lot that you would come here for the Go Global Conference, and without you, it would not have been the experience that it was. So thank you. I had a very special day yesterday, and Ricardo, I wanted to call you late to share this with you, but I had a great day yesterday with our region lead from Kenya, Queen Betty. So I had to drive to Lenox Mall because if you don't know, the Global Conference is very important, but also there's shopping. So I had to go to Lenox Mall to meet her because she had a gift for me, of course, from Kenya. So I go to Lenox Mall. She's at Starbucks, and we have a powerful conversation about the opportunities and all the synergy and everything that we can do and that we will do. And so I'm asking her, okay, someone's coming to get you because you got to get to the airport because you have a flight. And initially she was like, yes, everything's going to be fine. And when she reached out to the gentleman, she found out that he was stuck in traffic, which is not a surprise. I mean, this is the ATL. So he was stuck in traffic. And so I had the opportunity, the exciting opportunity to then take her from Lenox Mall in Buckhead, drive her all the way down Peachtree, the scenic route and everything through downtown and everything. So I had the honor of taking her to the airport so she could make her flight. And of course, that quality time in the car and everything that she shared with me, it just did a lot for me. And I think for us here in the United States, the more we engage with our brothers and sisters on the continent and everything that they can share with us, it will drive us to be so connected with the continent and the people, and that's what needs to happen. And so shout out to you, Ricardo, shout out to the Global Opportunities Committee and everybody in this meeting, because we are building what's necessary for us. You heard the brother say earlier, Africa is the future. And if you're not thinking about Africa, you're not thinking about the future. And so this is so important. And I'm just really happy and excited that we're doing this. And I thank all of you. And I just wanted to share, Ricardo, I had a great day yesterday with Betty. I just wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Melvin. We appreciate that. And that's family. When you're a part of the chamber, when you're part of this community, we treat you as such. And I know Betty is probably at the airport. I think she mentioned that she was in Doha, connecting on her way to Kenya. So I don't know if she's able to jump on, but Henry, I know Henry has his hand up. and we want to take your final questions or your thoughts. So Henry, did you have something you wanted to ask or share real quick?
Yes. Good morning to everyone. Ricardo just touched on a very powerful point, and it sounds simple. And Jason also followed up with it about follow-up and intention. And I think what goes in my mind right now, I feel like Africa, there's a gold rush right now. No pun intended, but everybody's going to Africa. Even the U.S., whose policy over several decades was about charity, and now trying to compete with China, everybody's trying to do business in Africa. I look at what our U.S. administration is doing in North Africa, I call it that, the Middle East, and the business they're doing there. And I kind of feel as a small business, how do I compete, with either, my U.S. government going there with their delegation, or maybe even my state going there with their delegation. I'm proud to understand we have this MOU with Kenya. And so, I just kind of wonder, as a small business, if, I'm curious how much business is the U.S. government doing with Kenya? And then how do I compete as a small business if I'm not a part of that U.S. government delegation or that Georgia delegation, if any of this is making sense? So I'm not intimidated about trying to do business there. And Ricardo can tell you, he met one of my relationships here in Atlanta who is doing very well in their coffee business. So I was excited to hear about the coffee opportunities. But, I'm just wondering, how do I compete with my own government? How do I compete with my own state? And because of this connection and this relationship through the Atlanta Black Chamber, I'm in a better position to compete, because I know the U.S. government is probably not going to take me with their delegation and their preferred business people. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and Ambassador, I don't know if you want to respond to this. I know we're coming up on time. Would you want to respond to the gentleman?
No, thank you very much. One, I must say that American companies are some of the biggest investors in Kenya. We have a very powerful American Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a very vibrant industry chamber that brings members together. They look out for one another, definitely. As Henry has said, definitely the US is out of the humanitarian business. And everybody's talking about what concrete business can we do. The tendency that I'm seeing now is that we want to deal with individual states. The national government, or the federal government in that case for the US, has become very busy at the policy level. But we are seeing decisions being made at the state level. For example, we just hosted a team from Nebraska about 2 months ago. We hosted a team from Minnesota about a week ago, about 3 months ago. So I encourage you to see what can we do, because we are allowed to sign MOUs, for example, with the state of Georgia. That will make things much easier. I understand, Henry, you feel that you're a small business person, you will not be considered when big delegations are being made. So please think at the state level. But finally, while I still have the mic, I want to really salute you, Ricardo, and your team for bringing this team together. As we say in the Bible, iron sharpens iron. Together, you're going to be stronger. $100 in your pocket doesn't mean much, but $100 from 1,000 people is 100,000. Much can be done with that. I encourage you to pull your resources together. I'm seeing in my country that the most successful communities are people who are pulling resources together. But you cannot pull resources together if there's no trust. Trust is the biggest investment that you can make.
Isaiah, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
No, go. We can hear you, Ambassador. Go ahead.
James, I think you're enjoying the holiday in Naivasha, so that's okay. So really stay together, encourage one another, pull your resources together, and just be there for one another. As I said earlier, it's communities that are pulling resources together that are taking the lion's share of the economic cake in Kenya. So keep doing what you're doing, and we shall support you in any way.
Fantastic, and that is a really good way to end the Power Hour, Ambassador. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Jason, as well, and thank you, James and Melvin, for jumping in and sharing your thoughts. I did share the results of our poll, and it seems like you are all pleased. We would love to hear from those of you who aren't and see what we can do. As Ambassador says, iron sharpens iron. So the irons need to connect before they sharpen each other. So let's connect. Let's understand what is it that we could do better and how we can actually help you to advance. And so this is a community. You are family. You are a member. You belong here. And there is nothing else that should stop you from moving together and work towards your goal. So thank you for coming. Next week, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the conference again, just really reliving some of the experiences. If you have attended the conference, like many of you said in the poll, we've been asking you for some feedback. We've been asking you to complete the surveys of the meetings that you've actually had. Tell us about it. This is the only way we can improve. If you would like for us to get better, if you would like us to get better at serving you, you have to talk back to us. So take a moment when you can, today, later today, or even tomorrow, just to fill out those surveys that we shared with you. Give us the insights that's in your mind around what we can do to improve. And if you have not been to the conference, we will see you in the virtual conference at the end of the month, which is on the 28th. We'd love to connect you with some folks. Feel free to be a part of what we're doing. Guys, we thank you so much. The hour has come, but the power continues, and that power is within you. Use it wisely. Don't waste it. Thank you, Ambassador, for your time. Thank you, James. Please enjoy the rest of your holiday. And thank you, Jason. Congrats on being spotlighted. Good day, everybody. Good afternoon, and have a great rest of your week.
Ricardo, before you pen off, share with us some of the inquiries that have come through the chat. I've seen some people inquiring from the chat. You can share the specific requests, then we will be able to deal with them and share with them, share them with the relevant companies that can handle them. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll follow up. We'll follow up on that with you. Thank you so much, everybody.
All
Have
right.
a great
Thank you.
day. We'll talk. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Betty. NC, thank you. Hope you're well.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Doc, thank you. Thank you.